Hello, welcome to Tuesday with Toya. My name is Victoria Fragoso, and I'm a singer-songwriter here in Tacoma, Washington. Today is Tuesday, September 27th. I am hosting this podcast to talk about Madison Morton and her music, and she is from Washington, D.C., so we've covered both Washingtons in today's episode. I hope everybody's as excited about that as I am. Hey, Steph. Hey, President Street. Welcome. So I discovered Madison Morton on Instagram, and then I discovered her TikTok, and she is just so funny and has such a great perspective and humor about being an independent artist. And so we're going to talk a lot about that today. Her latest release is called Untouchable Boy, and it's out on all streaming platforms. So for sure, check it out. Hey, Blake, how's it going? Yeah, and just invite anybody that you think might want to watch some live music or hear commentary between two independent artists. That's what's on the agenda today. So I'll get started with some music. This first song I absolutely love, Hi-Am. I don't know if anybody's heard of them. Hi, Thea Chayo. Hi, Giselle. Oh my gosh, I love it. Thanks for coming out today. Streaming on your phones. I appreciate it. It's so cool that we can all be in such different places and still find ways to connect. So I'm going to be playing a song for you all. Thank you again for being here and for everybody watching this stream later. I am going to start with this song from Hi-Am. It's called Forever. Playing it on the ukulele. Yeah, let me know what you think. goodbye. Forever I see you and me, forever I'll try for you and I. No, I never believed in their inside, just another good reason to get a ride. Forever we tried to make it right, together we saw the end inside. I'm tired of fighting the good fight, if you say the word then I'll say goodbye. Forever I see you and me, forever I'll try for you and I. No, I never believed in their inside, just another good reason to get it right. Thank you. Hey, Rhythms Coffee Olympia. Hey, Madison. Hello, welcome. So I guess that's just a lesson for anybody watching. What happens when you try to take something too fast and you just can't do it. But yeah, I love the song. Definitely always a good opportunity to practice. But thanks, Blake. Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't heard Hyam or however you say it, then you definitely should check them out. Speaking of performances and things, last week I had a really great interview with Endorian Guitar Works out of Olympia. Matt and Brian host that podcast on YouTube. It's called Backstage, and they were so awesome to talk to. I really had a great time actually talking about my craft, which I'm not the one in a hot seat, so it was fun. And I'll be uploading it to Instagram here in a few days, so you guys can check out the full episode. But for now, you can catch it on YouTube. If you go to my website, there's a link there, so you can check it out. And I do also want to shout out some other local podcasts and companies, including Radio Tacoma. I got a message from one of my friends, Duran, and he was like, "Is that Victoria on the radio?" And there's a whole cute little video. It's just like, it was so nice to know that my music is being played on local radio. And so big shout out to Radio Tacoma and also to local Roots Music Northwest. They play a whole bunch of Pacific Northwest artists in the area. So it's really great that they're supporting local musicians like myself. So I really appreciate that. And again, you can find links to those platforms on my website. Izzy Seattle, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Rhythms Coffee Olympia, tell us a little bit about your open mic if you can in the comments. I'd love to shout you out. I think it's on Mondays is what I saw. I'm not sure about sign up time or like when it starts, when you start the show. So let me know. This next song is called Only Love, and I'll be playing it on the piano. It is a song that I wrote, inspired by my dog Mowgli, and instead of the lyrics being only love, it was Mowgli love. So yeah, I just love the song. I did a music video last year with my dog Vinny and Paul Morgan. Shout out to Paul for doing that. And yeah, so anyways, check out the music video on YouTube if you have the chance. It's pretty funny. Okay, and it's got lots of great Tacoma places in the video, so definitely recommend it if you're a local or if you like that kind of stuff. I can't remember how we met or when it was that you first said I love you, or if I said it back. But every day this feeling grew, and one day when I looked at you, I felt something I'd never felt before. Only went gray. Through each storm the feeling stayed. Before the rain and after. Well, I thought we'd found a place in time where a smile was so easy to find. Every night we fell asleep thinking, only love could feel like this. Only love could feel like this, like this. You say I just knew. You say I knew soon as I saw you. You say I just knew. You say I knew soon as I saw you. You say I knew soon as I saw. Like this. Thank you. That was Only Love. Oh my gosh, Shug, how's it going? Eric, Black Soul Music in the house. Welcome. Dean, Gregory, Matt. I was just talking about Enduring Guitar Works and what a great time I had on your podcast last week. That was so fun. I actually played 4 songs on that podcast, so definitely check it out. Thanks, Giselle. Yep, all the puppy love. Yeah, I just love that song. So fun to play. Speaking of playing, I played last week at Harmon on Pack Avenue. So shout out to Harmon on Pack Avenue. So fun. Such a great venue. Like I've never played there before, but the stained glass behind me was so beautiful. And also played Gasworks Park for Community Through Unity with full spectrum performance on Sunday. So I've had a busy week of some live performances and it's not stopping. This week I'll be playing at the Hub in Gig Harbor, and that's this Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30. So come out if you can and you're in the area. And then next Friday, October 7th, I'll be playing at the Marketplace in Bainbridge Island. So again, over the bridge. I know. But it'll be super fun if you come. So definitely, if you're in the area, come check it out. And if you are worried that you might miss some of these dates, just go to my website, subscribe to the newsletter, and I'll hook you up with all the details. So you'll never miss a show if you want to not miss a show. Next week, I'm excited to bring on Colin from Atomic Pines and interview him. And so we'll be starting October with some pretty spooky vibes, followed by a mental health episode after World Mental Health Day, and then 2 very spooky artists, Via Mardeau, who plays the theremin, which we've never had on the show, so I'm really excited for y'all to see that, and then Mount Fog, who I just saw in Tacoma at the Plaid Pig. All right, so I'm going to play one last song, and then we're going to get Madison Morton on here and talk some ish about what it's like to be an independent musician. Yeah, cool. Sunshine beams for you. I see nothing but beautiful dreams for you, my love. saw a spark of magic in the dark. The light behind your eyes could have filled the whole night sky. Now that light is the star that guides my heart. Oh, 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 I want nothing but beautiful things for you. Nothing but moonshine beams for you. I see nothing but beautiful dreams for you, my love. When I think back to the moments that last, holding your hand, your strawberry curls, your little laugh. We share a smile, oh, the feeling welling up inside me now. Is there a better way to say it? I want nothing but beautiful things for you. Nothing but moonshine beams for you. I see nothing but beautiful dreams for you, my love. I want nothing but beautiful, my love. I want nothing but beautiful, my love. I want nothing but beautiful, my love. Beautiful. I want nothing but beautiful things for you. Nothing but moonshine whole life through. I see nothing but beautiful dreams for you, my love. Nothing but beautiful things for you. Nothing but moonshine beams for you. I see nothing but beautiful dreams for you, my love. My love, my love. Thank you so much, Shug, when your voice first enters a song. Oh, thank you. Hey, Dar, welcome. So let's get Madison Morton on here. And, oh, Madison, could you let me know, are you wanting to play a live song or are we going to play a song of yours? Just let me know in the comments and we can get that started. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Dar says, love this song. And Giselle says, so beautiful. Thank you. I love that song. That was inspired by my daughter. So I played all the inspo songs today, I guess. But yeah, just a reminder that I will be going live again next Tuesday, as we know, with Colin from... Perfect. Okay, cool. Colin from Atomic Pines. So yeah, super excited. We are going to get Madison on here and hopefully hear some live music. All right.
Oh,
hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Sorry, I'm trying to align myself a little better.
No, it always shifts every time you add somebody new, and the sound too changes. So hopefully, it will be. I think will be fine, and I'll just mute myself when you play your live music. But yeah, just
okay, awesome.
Excited to have you on here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, thank you for agreeing. I appreciate it. It's funny how much like commentary you put about like other indie musicians and stuff, and like how some are really great, like you can build like such a supportive community, and then other times it's like, let's follow and support each other, and then like, you know, you follow somebody and they unfollow you back. So yeah, so I was like wondering if it seemed like I was spamming you when I tried to like get you on to come on the show.
No, you're good. I honestly, I mean, you probably know how it is. Just also let me know if I'm too loud, if I need to move the mic a little further away.
What is if everybody could comment and just let us know. You sound good to me though.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, you probably know how it is, how like DMs can get really out of control really quickly and notifications, and sometimes, so it's really great for me, you know, when there's an opportunity like this, when people are persistent about it, because it's easier for me to see it that way.
Yeah.
Which is not, I mean, it's cool to get to that point, but it's also like a little overwhelming because it's like, oh, I never really thought that like my, my DMs or my comments would like be an issue. So,
Right.
so I guess I can look at it as a positive way. But yeah, I'm so glad that we finally were able to get in
Yeah.
touch and to do this.
Yes, for sure. So I'd love for everybody to hear your sound and your music. Are you going to play something unreleased for us or something that you want?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was gonna go ahead and play a song that I'm currently producing right now. I'm working towards releasing an EP, hopefully, probably at the beginning of next year. So this is one of the songs that will be on there. So it is called Hollow, and in parentheses, Before I Go. So,
Oh, awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. I'm going to mute myself.
okay, I'm
Probably
gonna disconnect these.
Okay.
Right. Back my camera up a little bit, working with a small space.
I know how that goes.
I think it's time now, but before I go, I'll wait till the morning to make up my mind. Soon as the sunrise opens your soft eyes, I will have left here, but you should know, floating's for clouds now. I think I'll join them up where the hurt doesn't reach me anymore. But before I go, just need you to know I am not hollow like I was before. I watched a bird fly in the reflection down in the water where we first met. I can watch the sky. I was afraid I would never make it there. I stayed in the wet, floating's for clouds now. I think I'll join them up where the hurt doesn't reach me anymore. But before I go, just need you to know I am not hollow like I was before.
So great. Oh my gosh. You have such a beautiful voice.
Thank you so much. Here, I'll put my headphones on if you're getting an echo. Thank you so much. Your voice is so beautiful too. I just wanted to say, I didn't get a chance to say before we started, but you're just so lovely. And your song that you were singing about your dog, oh my gosh. I couldn't handle it.
Oh man, yeah. Those are fun times, when you just like are inspired by the silliest, weirdest things, and then but it's like, okay, well, I guess I got a good song out of it. It's cool. Like,
Yeah, I remember there was this one girl, like I think like during 2020, who one of her songs went viral, and her label was like, "Don't tell people that this song is about an onion, and you're crying because you're cutting the onion." And then she just made a TikTok about it. So it's like, get the
well,
inspiration from anywhere.
right? Exactly. That's so funny. Yes, I had heard like a lot of weird stories like that about certain people. Like, oh yeah, I didn't want to tell anyone, but this is what it's really about. You're like, oh my gosh, it's about
Yeah,
hot Cheetos. Like, that's cool. Like,
yeah.
but yes, I just love your voice. And when I heard like, so first of all, when I see a lot of your content, especially like on TikTok, it's like you've got a lot of humor, but you make it very relevant, like to the indie musician experience. And so that I was like, oh my gosh, I can totally relate. Like I feel like I totally right there with you, girl. And then like with your interspersed like melodies and things like that, it was just like, oh my gosh, and she's such an incredible artist. So I think it's like really nice and I mean, it's not nice because I wish you were on more Spotify playlists, but like the fact that like, if you have gone through struggles trying to get onto Spotify playlists and you have such an incredible voice and a clear talent, like then it makes, I think, other people feel like better about like knowing where they're at. Like I feel like I write okay music, like at least good enough to be on a Spotify playlist, but yet I don't get on any of them, So it's just like, um,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I think I started like releasing music specifically to Spotify in 2019.
hmm,
And like the first two songs I released, I produced myself, and just like um I mean, there are so many artists who are just doing everything themselves and just including the marketing and all of that, and I still do all my marketing and everything myself. And so it's been this incredibly rewarding but difficult learning process over the last few years. And then I guess like, because of quarantine and everything, I had so much time to focus on like the content that I was putting out and figuring out what people reacted to and what people really resonated with. And I realized that a lot of my followers were other musicians. And so as I was, kind of building my niche and figuring out my following, I was like, okay, well, what is relevant to the people who are seeing my content? And then I just have found such an awesome community online by doing that, of other artists and also excuse me, non-musicians. But it's just been a really incredible journey, and I'm still learning as I'm going.
I mean, like the algorithm's always changing, but that is really cool that took the time to like think about your content, because that's what I try to help some artists with too. It's like, why didn't this go viral? Well, that's a great question. Let's talk about all the reasons why. It's just like, viral is not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on like what's relevant. And it's not to say that you're not relevant, but the algorithm isn't thinking that. So that's not on you, and that's not necessarily on people either. But yeah, just how like technical like the algorithm can be in terms of like, well, it's literally just they're just playing whatever people stay on the app for, which sometimes isn't the kind of content that you enjoy creating. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's one thing that I know that I have expressed frustration on multiple platforms, and something that I have now realized a lot of other indie musicians and just artists in general suffer with is, having to learn those little technical aspects of things and not being able to focus solely on the music and the art and the creative process, because you have to, in order to stay relevant, honestly and unfortunately, at least online in that world of
Right.
things, to market yourself successfully, you have to pay attention to what is relevant. And that's why, the algorithms are constantly changing. And so it's so difficult because, like I mentioned before, a lot of indie musicians are wearing 10 hats at once, and, while still trying to make good quality music. So
Right.
it's a balancing act for sure.
Definitely. I just want to make sure get Madison on all the playlists. I see a comment here from Scott Shaw Music.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Scott.
Oh, and then a question here: are you a lefty on the guitar, or is the camera flipped?
Oh, the camera's flipped. No, I am not.
Isn't that funny though? Like, yeah, my sign is backwards, and I'm just like, I guess, but like that's what needs to be done. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I've tried, but I can't.
So how long have you been playing guitar?
Oh, I think I started playing in sixth grade, so I'm 25 now. So whatever that math adds up
Right.
to. Yeah.
Was that your first instrument?
Technically my first instrument was piano, but I kind of took a sabbatical from that and really fell in love with guitar. So I um I did that for a really long time, and then later on in high school I started picking back up on piano and ukulele as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay, great. And so when it came to starting your songwriting, like how did that come about? When did you start writing songs?
So that's something I think that's what started first. I started writing lyrics in the earliest I remember I was in second grade. And I would write a lot of lyrics and like unfinished songs and that kind of thing, or just come up with melodies. And I have the same songbook that I've had since like I think I was like 10. So I've been writing for a really long time. It was kind of just has always been my version of journaling. Just I've always been my whole family is really musical. We just listen to so much music constantly, so it felt really natural for me. And then just learning instruments just kind of helped elevate that, and because it really opens your world to just like you just new inspiration and melodies you may not have otherwise thought of without an instrument. So yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. I've never thought about it that way, but you're totally right. Like music is, or writing songs is just like journaling. It's just there's also that added element of music. That's so cool. Um, so is that why you started learning an instrument because you wanted to like improve your songwriting or
I took piano lessons when I was like younger because I think my parents just kind of realized I had an interest in music, so they like had me do lessons, and we always had a piano in my house, so I always messed around, so I did enjoy that. But I specifically remember like the first moment I was annoyed that I couldn't like that I didn't know how to play guitar because I was at a friend's house, my best friend's house in sixth grade, I guess it would have been. And her brother is a really, really talented guitarist, and they've got like instruments lying all over their house. And I remember picking up this really beautiful guitar and then just like wanting to know, like, wanting to play it and just being like, I need, and I wanted to be in situations where like I never want to have this instrument, like an instrument presented to me that I am not able to play. So that kind of uh, went from there. And then my parents bought me all the Taylor Swift songbooks, and I started learning from there. So
love it. I mean, you got to start somewhere, but that is really interesting. That's very funny. That totally like makes me think of like, I don't know, there's just this attitude that you have in your TikTok videos. And so I can just imagine like sixth grade you being like, what? Like, this is not okay. Like, I should know how to play this.
yeah, I was definitely very precocious, and I was very like, if you told me not to do something, I'm kind of still that way. It makes me just more determined to do it. So, yeah.
So when we talk about like doing it all yourself, like what are the biggest aspects about creating music and even marketing that you do like?
So TikTok has almost like made me like really enjoy content creation again. Just because and Instagram was really kind of where I started learning like the algorithm world and like social and marketing and all of that stuff. And that was around 2019, and then I made my TikTok in 2020, but really the last couple years have been like where I've really found my niche and my groove with TikTok, and it's been really rewarding. And I've started like a little playlist community, and like we've got a group chat, and everyone's really supportive, and it's awesome. Scott, who commented earlier, also an admin in our group, so it's been really wonderful.
And
And
that playlist, sorry, it's called Indie Chill by Madison
yes,
Morton. Yeah.
yes, and it is displayed on my Spotify artist profile if anybody wants to check it out. It'd be really
Definitely.
great. Give us a like. Yeah, honestly, like it was definitely, I put too much like pressure on myself at first to just like be posting like
Mhm.
often, and I was burning myself out constantly. And I think focusing more on like community and like relating to other people and kind of having a symbiotic relationship with other artists where we're all uplifting each other, and that has really kind of breathed the life back into me when it comes to being like a content creator and marketing myself.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and then I also, create the music and write the music, and I produce most of the music, and then I also, I mean, I outsource, you know, some mixing and
Mhm.
um, uh, drums recently. So, and that's because collaborating is just great with other people. It just makes it so much more fun, I think. So yeah, it's just like I'm trying to think. It's just like so many things, and you don't even think about it until you're trying to like list out all the things you have to do all the time, like, going live and yeah, it's just
Yeah.
crazy. You just
Yep.
kind of get into the flow, I guess.
hmm Updating the website, updating the Spotify. Don't forget to update your Spotify pick every 2 weeks. Like,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, like running a pre-save campaign, the dreaded
uh,
pre-save campaign. So,
man. Yes, that's just so. What has been your with all of the things that you've learned? What would you say is like one of the key things besides building community that would help like reduce burnout? Because I think a lot of content creators and musicians who watch this will be like, I mean, we're all struggling, I think, with Instagram, with TikTok, like with the fact that
yeah.
you want to do so much. So how do you like, I guess a better question would be like, how do you prioritize what you do, what
Hmm.
you focus on?
Yeah, it's definitely difficult because so many platforms, especially TikTok, is like really like focusing on like volume because they want to keep people on for a long time. And I realized that, first of all, I had to narrow down to like music, like, so my niche obviously is music, but then finding my niche within that. But then I kind of went too far into that. And I was like, well, I'm losing a little bit of the content that I enjoy making.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's just constantly staying on trends or, you know, trying to pump out however many videos a day, or just recording a video, even it's like if I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see a video and I want to make a video in that moment, and then I ruin my leisure time, and I've made videos about that before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think I really started to focus on like the content that I genuinely enjoy making.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I'm trying to still do more of is I'm writing all the time, and writing and showing my music and my songs is what is most genuine to me and is the most exciting thing for me to do. And it's harder for me to burn out when I'm so excited about something. That being said, I do really have to force myself to take breaks. I try to like give myself like 1 or 2 days focused on content creation without editing, just literally hitting record,
Mm-hmm.
and then another day dedicated to just editing, and then then I can just have those 2 days, and then you kind of build a backlog if you do that every week, so then you can just like have a couple of drafts to post every day. So I really just kind of figured out a schedule that worked for me. Obviously what works for me is not going to work for everybody,
Right.
but it's just being forgiving of myself and realizing that it's not a race. You're not gonna get it all done in one day. So do what you can, but be forgiving of yourself when you can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are all really great tips, especially for me. I find like batch creation to be some of the easier parts to take a hold of if you're doing one task consistently over and over versus like constantly switching tasks, which as a music creator, typically you're going to be doing that. So yeah, just help by like segmenting those things and making it just like, okay, we're just doing this right now. We're just gonna do this right now, like, and this is all we're doing, and that's okay because sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, if you are trying to just get a post every day, but you're making a post every single day, it can get like you're gonna find that you're gonna burn out, even if it is content that you do enjoy creating.
Right. And then it's like, and that's what it is like for me. And probably it's like what I am most afraid of and what I'm trying to prevent the most is I don't want to be so burnt out where I don't even want to make the content that I most enjoy making. So, which, like I said, the videos of my music are what I most enjoy, while the algorithm may not most enjoy them. I do, so it's still
Right.
important to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a balancing act and difficult to kind of figure out, but it's a
Um,
learning process.
for sure. And then talk to me about your music. So I've seen a couple of your songs, but and you also had a video I think that addressed this, but you're like, okay, well I just posted another video with a song that I'm not ready to release yet. And I know everybody wants to hear the rest of it, but they can't. Sorry. But, like that's what it is. When do you know whether you're going to produce a song or not? And then how do you do you have a schedule that you stick to, or I know you talked a little bit also about I don't know if I'm going to finish the song that I should have been finishing. I like this one now. So yeah, how does that work?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that I do really do struggle with. It really matters because the most like just when the song is finished, like what gets finished first is kind of what is prioritized. So even if I'm more excited about like another song, I try to make myself focus on a song that may be fully written, and then that can move on to the production stages. Unless it's really a song that, I mean, I've been writing music, like I said, since second grade, so not all of them are winners. Most of them are not. But it's the ones that I really do just get excited about. And then I just kind of have this feeling where every now and then, like you were saying, you can get inspiration from anywhere. And sometimes when you get that ball rolling, it's hard to stop. And sometimes I'll push that through to like go and record that because I feel like if it feels so special, then like it is special. So I should put my energy into that because I don't want to lose that in the future, lose that momentum because I'm trying to focus on something else. So trying to do what feels natural. But like the EP I was saying I'm going to release, I have one song that I wrote in high school that's been
Oh, cool.
waiting for so long that I've done
Mhm.
like demos of, but haven't released anything.
Right.
And I think it also has a little bit to do with just because I've written so many songs over different stages of my life, what feels most relevant to me at that time, and what aligns with my style at that time, because sometimes it can get a little eclectic in terms of genre and
Sure.
yeah, just trying to really kind of make a cohesive sound that feels genuine to me.
How do you feel like your sound has changed since you've been writing songs for so long and now going to be producing a song that you wrote so far back? How do you feel like your sound has been changing? Because you're also doing a lot of this yourself too. So you're constantly learning new skills and putting that into your craft. I think,
Yeah, it's changed so much. I like to think that the basis of the way that I write lyrics, I think I mean, it's definitely improved, but I think that that has probably stayed the most consistent. Definitely my production style, just in terms of how much I've learned, because I like started the first time the first music I ever recorded technically was like a contemporary Christian album when I was 14 with some friends. So it's really, really changed since then. But yeah, and then I kind of started to move towards what I thought was more popular, I guess. So I was really trying to, especially like late high school, early college, I was really trying to fit my sound into what more pop and R&B. And not that I don't write stuff like that naturally, but it felt disingenuine where like I said, I was kind of learning how to do like play guitar with like early Taylor Swift stuff. So that was
Mhm.
really kind of where my sound first was, very like kind of acoustic. And then like when I started playing ukulele, very kind of she and him, Regina Spektor, like those kind of like very like twee vibes, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's just been really letting myself write what comes out of me, you know what I mean? Instead of
Mhm.
trying to emulate has been my biggest journey and how I've changed the most. I think if anything, I sound more like me, and I sound more like me than I ever have in terms of like my writing and my music style.
It's amazing. Sorry, my dog Mowgli must just hear this story because he's all over me right now.
You're totally fine.
He's like, wait a second, you just debuted that song about me. Why don't you want, why can't I be on the podcast?
Yeah, he's like, I heard my name.
So life on the trail of never ending quest of the perfect song. Yeah, just trying to find like the one that fits you the most, that is like most iconically you, but then you change and you grow. And so then, hopefully like the new song like fits that. But it's super cool to hear you say, and I like that you like to be natural, like you want to be authentic, like you are trying to just use your skills in a way that feel like natural to you, instead of, even though it is good to put yourself outside of your genre or things, and try different things, like you're still coming back and releasing, or focusing on releasing and creating stuff that makes the most sense to you. Because like having to constantly fight yourself on like which path you should take, it's like exhausting. Why not just go with what seems like people can say it's a cop out, or maybe you're being too easy on yourself, but you're going with what feels natural, and I don't know how that could be like a bad thing. So yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I mean, if I wrote it, then obviously it's genuine to me, It's like, if that's how I feel, then
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's also kind of goes back to just like the burnout. If you're constantly, indie musicians, we're already doubting ourselves, I feel like, constantly in general, just because there's so much unknown in being a musician and trying to do that professionally, in whatever capacity that is. So when you're also questioning that, and then questioning yourself and trying to be what you're not, you're going to burn out, in my opinion, just so much quicker.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's, I mean, I think there, I guess what I feel that is true, especially on social media, is there's like all these triggers as like an independent musician versus like the songwriting portion of like the job feels like the safest place, like feels like the most natural place, because we're artists, we want to create. And starts to get into the production part and the editing part, and like how do you even if you take a video of yourself like playing your song, and you don't have to go into production, I mean, well, still, like, what angle are you taking? Like, are you gonna smile during the middle of your performance or not? Like,
Yeah.
so speaking of smiling, there, you got a comment on one of your posts, and somebody said that you should smile more, but that otherwise you had like a great voice and like you played guitar really well. How much unsolicited advice do you get as an independent musician?
So much, so much. The smile one, that's happened a couple times now. That was the first time I ever made a video of it, because I just thought it was funny, and it happens more on YouTube than anything. Yeah, at least the smile comments do, which is kind of funny. Because it seems so stereotypical at this point, because it feels like something that everybody knows is kind of not cool, but still happens. So, but yeah, a lot of a lot of unsolicited advice about some of the advice I genuinely do appreciate, because I do complain about, like, production problems or just musician problems, and some things are great, but sometimes things are like, so it's just like, thanks for explaining that to me. But at the end of the day, also, when I get those comments of unsolicited advice, at the end of the day, I'm like, it's still just boosting me up. It's just engagement that's going to boost me up the algorithm. So it's hard to be upset about it. But yeah, a lot of people, I've gotten a lot of comments also when I've made videos talking specifically about like the marketing side of things, and just being like, oh, well, you're just like losing the point of all of this. And I'm like, I mean, that can be true for some people. That could take the life and the art out of your artistry. But I mean, I'm just trying to share with as many people as possible. So, but yeah, it's been a lot. I mean, I expected some, but it's been quite a lot. But I mean, at the end of the day, the engagement, as long as it's not, I mean, I haven't ever really gotten too bad, like not a lot of genuine hate or like genuinely bad, mean comments, just kind of ones that I'm like, that's kind of silly,
Yeah, like, all right, thanks for your comment.
Yeah. Like, just pat, thanks.
All right, good job. You know how to type. That's awesome. So no, that's very interesting. And there are so many aspects to consider too when you're like critiquing somebody else's work, especially if it's like a video that's meant to be like humorous, like there's layers and layers of meaning in there, and still we're talking about like how I missed the point. Like, I don't know, I think you missed the point. And
Yeah.
also like when you're trying to just like share your music and your lyrics and stuff, and people are giving you comments about like how it could be better, but like that, I don't know, it's interesting to me. But that's great that you're not getting like, I think the bigger obviously that you get, you're going to get more and more. It's what I have heard and what I've seen on different social media platforms. I mean, like, but all is fair in love in social media, because especially as an independent musician, like, why shouldn't you try to get like what the attention that your music deserves? But obviously we're all having to do these little tips and like little tricks to get you to stay engaged with our page. I mean, is it really that bad? No, because nobody's like, you know, luring you into writing a kid's birthday or song for their 5-year-old that doesn't exist, and
Right.
wire money and like send it back to you. It's like you're harmless. What you're doing is you're just creating content like every other content creator, and like,
Right. Like if I'm not smiling in a video, I didn't specifically not smile to make you comment on my video to like boost me up the algorithm. But if that's what happens at the end of the day, then
right.
so be it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So there's a lot of things that you talk about on your TikTok that I love that you even talk about them, because it's not that I think that I'm the only one. It's just the whole, like, it's so relatable. Like, lots of scams going around the internet. So if anybody asks you or tells you there's a potential like DM commission that you need to check your DMs for, just roll your eyes and like turn away.
Yeah.
If somebody's asking you to write a birthday song for their 5-year-old kid and it's going to wire you money and then accidentally sends you the wrong amount, like, red flags, like.
Yeah.
So many.
It's like, come up with a new one at this point. I mean, I've gotten it so many times.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. What else did I think was really funny? The phantom power, or like, you know, how musicians typically, I mean, I don't know if you're like this, but I definitely do like a million takes, especially if I'm self-producing it or anything, like, oh yeah, I'm going to take like 10 takes and then pick out the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff, when I was kind of first experimenting with that, I was just like, I mean, I can't be the only one, like, you know, but I was just like, I can't be. So, and as soon as I just got like immediate, as soon as like the more relatable content, like those kinds of videos, the more engagement and just the more genuine conversation was getting started in the comments. Because, you know, it can kind of be where people are just doing like the emojis or like, which is fine. I love emojis, but it's, you know, it's nice to kind of get a dialogue going with people in the same boat as you. And while they are kind of like funny jokes and stuff, and like when I've talked about like Spotify royalties, I'm like, well, I know Spotify is not paying all of us enough, so I know we can all relate to that.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing has just been, and I think it can just lead to starting like bigger conversations. And you know, for me, and when it comes to like marketing and that kind of stuff, it just felt it's really easy to feel discouraged. And like, what's the point of doing all this? But when you can kind of see people in the same boat, and still see other people who are in the same boat, and then see what does well for them, and that can be encouraging. And we can all kind of joke about the difficulties in the meantime.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, we're all along on this crazy journey, and it is cool when you do see other people like doing well, or that like one of their videos went viral. It's like, thank you, Lord. Like, there is hope, you know?
Yeah, right. It's like, yes, like stand up for the little guys, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, so if anyone, whoever is watching, if you like TikTok, please follow Madison Morton on TikTok. It's Madison_Morton_music, right? Yep. And then for Instagram, it's Madison_Morton_music. So definitely follow her on both platforms. You will not regret it. You might pee your pants, but that's okay. Especially if you're an independent musician. I just couldn't, like, I was just so like grateful, like, to know that I wasn't alone, but also like I couldn't, oh man, that would keep me on TikTok forever. So that's where, I
That
was,
makes me so happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to hear that, honestly, because it's sometimes when you get in your own little bubble, you're like, is anybody even like watching, like listening? And then when you get kind of the proof that it's like, oh my God, like I got to keep doing this, it's great. So I really do genuinely appreciate that. It makes me really happy.
that was funny too. You did have another video that said like, oh, I forget what it was from. And that's the only problem that I have with TikTok and like the voiceovers and stuff. Like I
It's
don't
hard.
where these shows are coming from or what the like initial scenario was. But there was this one, it was like, I can't even remember at this point, but like something about, did you know that, you only reached this certain part, like people that that's all that you reached out to. And you're like, well, I guess that's great. That was kind of my target audience. Like, if else saw
Yeah.
it, that's fine, because the people who needed to see it saw it. So that's great.
Yeah, it was like, and that's kind of early on in my content. I was like, well, only indie musicians are releasing my content. It's like, well, I might as well just gear my content towards them anyway. So, yeah.
That's pretty funny. And I wish we could talk more because I definitely so much to go over. But what kind of projects do you have coming up, and like what can we support you with? I know you just released Untouchable Boy, which is an amazing song, so that it can be found anywhere you're going to stream your music. But that song was a gift to you, yes?
Yes, that's the first song I've ever released that I didn't write. My best friend in the whole world is she's an amazing she's a writer and she's a lyricist, and she's like, I have no interest in ever, pursuing recording music, and I was helping her compose the piano part for it, and then she just kind of few months later she's like, do you just want this song? Like, do you want to record it? And I was like, yes. And it was amazing. And I'm so grateful for it. And I got to produce that. And she's amazing. Her name is Olivia Leibowitz, and I love her so, so much. And yeah, so my next project, I'm going to be releasing the lyric video for Untouchable Boy on my YouTube channel. It should be up next week. And yeah, like I said, I'm working on my EP, so that should be out early 2023. And so for any updates on any of that, follow me on any socials, here, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, wherever. Keep that updated, and
All of them.
yes, all the socials.
Amazing. Okay. And then we already went over socials. So Madison Morton _music for Instagram, and then Madison _Morton _music for TikTok. And then you can Google, and I'm sure you're going to come up somewhere, somehow.
Yeah, and I think I have my link tree in my bio on here, so you can just find me wherever's easiest, or not. That's fine too.
Right.
It's your choice.
If you do start following you on, or if anybody starts following her on TikTok though, and you're on there for hours and hours, like, don't blame me. I just can't.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's been so great to talk with you today. I hope everybody else is having an amazing Tuesday and continues to have a great night over here. Oh, I love that we're both in Washington. So that's incredible.
Oh my gosh, yes, I know. I'm such a forgetful person, but yeah, I know, that's awesome.
So we've covered all 50 states between us pretty much. So anyway.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But yeah, so definitely come check out more podcasts next Tuesday. Maybe Mowgli will make an appearance, and then I'll be sharing Madison's socials and things in my stories so that nobody can say that I didn't tell them where to find you. So
Thank you.
Thank you again, Madison. All right, hope everybody has a great Tuesday, and we'll see you next week or on social media, wherever we are. Okay.